Social Action Radio is on the air. Chris Steinbach and Maggie Curry from the Muscatine Center for Social Action are here with the issues facing the less fortunate in our community, as well as profiles of MCSA staff and board members. Call now with your questions. 563-263-8600. Lines are open now at 563-263-8600. Stay tuned to learn how you can answer the call to action and help make a difference on Social Action Radio.
Good morning.
Good morning, Millie. How are you this morning?
Well, look at the sky out there and the weather. It's 55 degrees.
It does just make everything seem
doesn't
better.
It?
Yeah.
Like, even when your life's kind of like, it's like, no, it's good. It's way better than the weather.
I went on a bike ride last night and rode about half of it into this headwind blowing straight into my face, and I couldn't even get in a bad mood about that. It was just so nice outside that it was like, I'm just happy to be out finally doing this.
I know. I think that too. I'm like dying to get our bikes down and ready to go. And I was joking. Yesterday was buy, sell, and trade, so I was joking about somebody had one of those little, what do you call them, like a trailer for kids?
Yep.
Well, we have one of those, but it's for the dogs. So, like, all the dogs run around the trailer, and I don't take my dogs for a walk. I take them for a bike ride.
I know other people who do that. I know other people here in town who do that.
Nice. So I'm not the only one.
Oh, no.
I was feeling kind of crazy the first time I did it. People are looking at you like, what are you doing?
My friend Jeff down at Neil's vacuum and sewing thing downtown, he bikes to work year-round.
Really?
And often hauls their two dogs in a trailer behind the bike.
Wow.
He's a pretty common sight on the bike trail coming in out past Bend Eglering Center. And he's I'm sure he would be recognizable to many people.
Even in the winter months?
Yep.
All right. You must have some good tires, like winter tires, snow tires. Those for the bike?
Anyway, you have just me this morning. Maggie was busy and not able to get here, so here I am.
I love the fact that you guys are a team, so you can tag off when you need to.
It happens. It's been busy at MCSA. Lots of good things happening, and so we're glad to have the opportunity here today to talk about some of those. Awesome. And thought we'd start out by talking about volunteers. We've done a interview in advance with Freda Coughlin, who's one of our volunteers at MCSA. She's a retired Muscatine teacher. I'm sure many people know her. And why don't we play that, and then we can talk about how we could use other people just like Freda doing many of the same things that she helps do.
All right, sounds good.
This is Chris Steinbach. I'm the Deputy Director at MCSA, and I'm sitting here with Freda Coughlin, who is a active and longtime volunteer at MCSA. Freda, thank you for joining us this morning on our radio program.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
So, tell me a little bit about what you do for MCSA and how it came about.
I answer the phone at the front desk and take messages, and sometimes go unlock the room back there, let people into the computer room, just whatever needs to be done while I'm at the front desk.
And you do that all as a volunteer?
Yes, I do. I like volunteering.
And how often, roughly, maybe in a month's time, do you volunteer here?
Right now, usually it's just a couple times a month, unless somebody's sick or if they need me to do something else, like sometimes I scrapbook the articles that are in the paper and pictures and things.
I know you were a big help in putting together an art project we worked on for the Arts Center here a week or so ago.
Yes, I did. I came down and put the pictures in the frames and picked out ones to put in there to take to the Arts Center. Yes.
So you've volunteered here since, I think you told me, 2007.
Yes.
Tell me about what you did prior to that.
Prior to 2007, I taught school full-time, second grade, most of the years, 30 years. Yeah, mostly Madison School, yes.
What about that did you like?
The kids. I love the children. I loved, teaching them.
Is there anything at all about your volunteer experience that's kind of similar, at least, to your experience teaching, or?
Well, the thing that's similar is at the school where I taught, the other people I taught with were kind and helpful. And I find that same kindness when I'm at MCSA, both from the people who work here and from the people who live here. The people who live here are very, they use please and thank you and are real nice too.
So when you're not volunteering, what do you do?
I visit at nursing homes. I love people, and I love to talk to people. And some people don't have any visitors, so I picked out a couple nursing homes in Muscatine that I visit people.
How often do you do that?
Usually 4 days a week.
Oh, wow.
A lot. I like to. I go in the morning and stay for a couple hours. Almost. Not every day, but almost.
So you were telling me before we started the interview that your husband, Dwight, is also retired. You said that you both basically do now only the stuff you want to do. Do you travel much and those kind of things, or?
Not as much as we used to when we were younger, but we do go to a trail ride in southern Missouri, Big Creek Trail Ride. But other than that, we don't do too much traveling. We have too many things to do with our volunteer stuff.
If someone were listening to this and they were thinking about volunteering at MCSA or anywhere else, and they weren't sure that it was something they wanted to do, what would you tell them why they should? What do you think you get out of it that you wouldn't get otherwise?
Well, my volunteering, I've met a really lot of nice people who now are my friends, and it gives you something to keep busy and not just stay at home all the time. I really like that, being busy all the time.
Okay, you and I are visiting today because you've put together a little presentation to make to our board of directors, which is meeting today. What are you going to tell them that maybe I haven't thought to ask you here this morning?
This is the kind of things I had planned to tell them, was that I like volunteering, and I like the people here and the people that live here and work here. That all those things is what I'm going to tell them also.
Okay, and the time that you've been here, can you give me an example of maybe the funniest or the most interesting thing that someone has asked you or that you've experienced? Something where you went home, you thought about it later, and just thought, I would have never ever guessed that would happen.
It's not so much maybe in what has happened exactly here, but when I tell people that I volunteer at the shelter, I've asked my friends, don't you want to come down? And I like it so much. And they don't understand the respect and the kindness that I receive here. I'm shocked about that they don't understand how nice a place it is to volunteer.
Well, and that I think just speaks of another good reason why MCSA benefits from having volunteers like you who help correct that and set people straight when you're out talking to your friends and they who don't maybe know much about us, and you're able to tell them what it's really like, and we really appreciate that.
I really do too. I tell them how nice a place it is and how nice the people are. And there's a guy that will check my meter and put a quarter in my parking meter, and they're just nice people.
One of the residents did that?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's every bit as valuable as the work that you do for us. We really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I don't have anything else to ask you. If we've kind of covered all the bases, I'll let you off the hook here for this morning. But thank you for joining us. This is Chris Steinbach, the Deputy Director, and we'll go back to the studio.
That's an incredible story.
Yeah, Bretta is a very, very nice lady and a great ambassador for MCSA. I mean, it's just wonderful, the things that she does to help us, but then the things that she goes out and tells her friends and everybody else. She's going to the nursing home 4 times a week and then telling them about how great MCSA is. So, I mean, that's just awesome.
That's like an advertisement you can't pay for. Truly, it's like that kind of goodwill and someone that believes wholeheartedly in what is happening down there at MCSA.
Yeah, she touched on a point that I think happens often, that people who maybe have not been in our building or who haven't been there for a long time have the misconception that it's dangerous or that it's not a safe place, which is certainly not the case. I mean, it's,
I walk in all the time.
Yeah. So it's nice to have her out there helping.
And sometimes they'll hold the door for you, or what? Well, especially when I have my hands full. I dropped off Easter cookies not too long ago, and I had I was juggling 5 plates of Easter cookies, whatever, and so they were holding doors for me and everything. It was very nice.
But one of the reasons we wanted to introduce people today to Freda is that we really need to have more Fredas. We really could use some more volunteers at MCSA. And it's a great place, I think, for someone who, like her, is retired but who wants to stay active. The kind of things that we really need help with, we need people who could sit at the front desk and answer phones, especially this time of year where we're going into the summer and we have a small staff, and so when people start taking vacations and you have people gone, it really gets difficult just to keep all the bases covered. So if you have a really good volunteer who is willing to come in and do that, I mean, that's just invaluable.
How many hours? So what kind of commitment, are you asking people to make? Or because I don't know how long you guys are actually open and someone's sitting there at that front desk.
Well, we are open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, but for a volunteer, we would not leave a volunteer by himself or by herself, at night or on the weekends and stuff. So we'd be talking mainly about, business hours during the week, where we could maybe even, if someone wanted to work a weekend or something and come in and volunteer and work with the staff member who was there working, we might be able to do that.
Sure.
But the commitment that what we really need is we have a application form that the people would need to fill out, and then we'd go from there to see what their interests were and their skills and things like that. And because there are other areas where we could use volunteers as well. This may sound funny, but I know there are people who would actually enjoy this. Cleaning, light cleaning, doing laundry, some of those kinds of things. If we had a volunteer who wanted to help with that, we could keep somebody busy doing that.
What about weed pulling? I say all the time on this radio station that I'm really good at weed pulling.
Well, we do have one of the community garden plots back behind our building, and Paul Carroll actually oversees that as a volunteer.
Yeah.
But and I'm sure he would welcome some help with that as well. So yeah, if someone wanted to do that, I think we could do that. If you're a retired handyman type person, or you like to paint or do odd job repairs and things, I think we could probably find plenty to keep somebody busy helping with things doing that.
I know a couple of ladies that love to paint. It's therapeutic or something, and they love to paint.
Well,
it's just mind-numbing. I don't know.
You should introduce them. We could
We
could find plenty of things to keep them busy.
Yeah.
But when I get back to work later this morning, I will put the application and some other documents. I'll post them on our website, which is mcsaiowa.org, and then I will link to that on Facebook. So if anybody's listening and they're interested, they'd be able to go later today and find those documents and then fill them out and
tag me in that Facebook post, so then I can put it on our Facebook as well.
And then they would just need to return them to MCSA, where 312 Iowa Avenue, and or they could bring them in person, whatever. They could email them to me, I guess, too. I'll try to include my email in the post, maybe, so they can find me.
You just make it super easy.
Well,
there you go.
We aim to please.
Easy to get along with. I like it. Shall we take a break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about, I know you got a whole list over there. We'll talk about some other things.
That'd be great.
All right.
When you need a doctor fast, isn't it good to know there's one open right now? More Express Care walk-in clinics in the Quad Cities and Muscatine. Unity Point Clinic. Go online and find a doctor.
Unity Point Clinic Express Care is now open at their new location, 3426 Northport Drive in Muscatine. Call 563-264-9508 or go online at unitypoint.org for wait times.
Join Rebuilding Together Muscatine County for National Rebuilding Day, Saturday, April 25th. Rebuilding Together has been helping Muscatine County homeowners living with a disability stay in their homes since 2007. And they need your help on April 25th when they will be serving 5 more Muscatine County homeowners. Sign in between 7:15 and 7:30 a.m. at 1424B Hauser Street. Grab a t-shirt, sign a waiver, and then start working. Throughout the day, crews will be rebuilding ramps, hanging doors, scraping, painting, and raking. Bring your friends and meet some new ones while serving people right here in Muscatine County. Remember, National Rebuilding Day, Saturday, April 25th, begins at 7:15 a.m. at 1424B Hauser Street. And here's a bonus, they'll even feed you lunch that day.
You save big money, you save big money when you shop Menards.
Save big at Menards. How big? 11% big. With an 11% rebate on everything, make it warmer. No, 11% warmer. With all water heaters, fireplaces, and insulation. From paint to appliances to the tools to get your job done. There's no end to the possibilities with an 11% rebate on your entire purchase right now at Menards. No, really, I mean it. Save 11% on everything in the store. That's an 11% rebate on building materials, from plywood to trusses and lumber. Save 11% on all carpet, tile, and wood flooring. An 11% rebate on all ceiling fans, faucets, and power tools. Save 11% on anything you find in the store. Seriously. 11% is here only until April 18th. So stop in today and save big. 11% big.
Save big money at Menards.
Social Action Radio is taking a break. Please stay tuned for more information about issues the less fortunate face in our community and how you can answer the call to action and make a difference today. Call now with your comments or questions at 563-263-8600. Now back to the show.
Welcome back, everybody. You know what I was going to say right before we left? I was going to encourage people as like maybe a couple, whether it's you and a girlfriend or, like a married couple, whatever, to come down and volunteer together. Because sometimes, it's fun when you come with someone else, and safety in numbers and that kind of thing.
And if somebody is listening and they're thinking, I might be interested in that, but they're not sure, if they want to just come down or give me a call and schedule a tour, come down, I'll show them around. We can show them the whole building, talk to them about what we're all about, and then if they want to decide after that whether they want to volunteer or not, we'd be glad to do that. So,
I like it.
Yeah.
Because I've had a tour before, so I know what that's all about. You do a really good job.
Thank you.
Like maybe you've done it once or twice.
Yeah, a couple times.
What else is happening?
Well, I did bring some other things to talk about. I know people would have received these in their mail this week if we mailed it to them, because I got one at home. Birdies for Charity. I don't know how many people are familiar with Birdies for Charity. It's a nonprofit charitable organization done in conjunction with the John Deere Classic Golf Tournament.
Right.
And that will be held July 6th through the 12th at Deer Run in Silvis, Illinois. Mm-hmm. But Birdies for Charity is a really cool thing. And we have sent out mailings to, probably 1,000 people throughout the county, the community, asking them to make a donation to Birdies for Charity for MCSA. And what's really cool about this is that 100% of the money that people donate and designate for MCSA goes to MCSA. There are no expenses taken out of this by the golf tournament people.
Oh.
So 100% of the money that's donated comes back to MCSA. The other thing about it that's in addition to that, all the profits that are left over after expenses are paid from the golf tournament, from concession sales and all that sort of stuff, is used as a bonus to give to all the charities that are involved with Birdies for Charity. And you normally get, 5 to 10% of whatever the total amount raised for you was, in addition to that, from the profits. So basically what happens is that for every dollar that's donated to Birdies for Charity and designated for MCSA, MCSA gets back $1.05 or $1.10.
I like it when I give and you get more.
Yeah, it's a really a great program.
There aren't too many places where you give and you get more.
There are other charities in the community, I think, that participate in Birdies for Charity. To be honest with you, I'm not sure which ones
Sure.
or how many of them. I know there are others. And then, of course, there are many in the Quad Cities that participate in this. Birdies for Charity is actually really a pretty big organization, and they've given away over $6 million through the years.
Wow.
So there would be many people in Muscatine that would have received a letter from us, some who donate every year to Birdies for Charity for MCSA, and we
Right.
thank them for that and hope they will do so again this year.
Nice.
We'll move on to get away from the fundraising for a little bit and talk about something else that's it's kind of a fundraising effort, but it's really cool. And I don't know a lot about this yet, and there'll be more information coming out about it in the next couple of weeks. But the Key Club at Muscatine High School. Key Club is the high school club that's associated with Kiwanis.
Okay.
And it's a big service club at the high school. There must be 40 or 50 students at least that's in that club. They do this every year, and it's going to happen on May 8th and 9th. From 9 p.m. on Friday, May 8th until 9 a.m. on Saturday, May 9th, they will be sleeping in cardboard boxes and camping outside at the turf practice field at the high school.
Okay.
And the students are collecting pledges for every hour that they sleep outside or stay outside that night, and they're using that to raise money for MCSA.
So you're going to bring some of those people on the 7th when you're here?
I could try to do that. I'll talk to Rachel Hansen, who's the teacher at the high school, who is the advisor or whatever for the Key Club chapter, and I'll see if we can maybe get her or some of the kids to come out.
I know, I should like her and a student, or even we could get her and a couple of students. That would be really interesting to hear their take on.
I will know a little more about all this next week. The Key Club is going to have a meeting one morning next week, and I think I'm going to go to that and talk to them and hear what they have in the works. And I've put it on my calendar, Millie. I think I'm going to probably camp outside with them that night and sleep in a cardboard box.
Nice. More power to you.
Not sure
it's
how
gonna be cold.
Not sure how. Well, hopefully by May it'll be a little warmer than.
Oh, maybe.
It's 2 or 3 weeks from now. So
okay.
But I will put some more information about that on our website as well and on Facebook. Hopefully yet today and for sure next week and beyond. How to contact Ms. Hansen and some of those kinds of things, so that hopefully we can do a little more to promote that too. It'd be nice to see them have a nice, successful fundraiser.
Definitely.
And Ms. Hansen is a I don't know all the teachers at Muscatine High School, but she's one I've gotten to know pretty well, who I think is very cool. And I've gotten to know her because she is one of the people who went with us last year on Ragbri, and she's going to go again this year.
I heard that the Ragbri team is growing.
Well, it has, and that was one of the things I thought we could talk about briefly. We had 23 people register by the deadline to go with us, and they are mostly people from Muscatine. There are a couple from Iowa City. It's actually Maggie Curry, our executive director. Yep. It's her brother Tim and his wife Becky. They live in Iowa City, and they're going to go with us this year.
Is Maggie riding this year?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But Tim and Becky are going to. In fact, they're going to be our overnight hosts when Ragbri stays in Coralville. We'll actually bike on over to Iowa City and stay with them. But so we have mostly people from Muscatine. We have Becky and Tim. We have a couple from my hometown in Sheraton that are going to go with us this year. And then after we had the 23 people signed up, I put a message on the Ragbri message board on the website.
Right.
That we had seats available on our bus going to Sioux City, and I was just going to try and sell the seats to fill the bus and defray some expenses. Well, I've heard back from 4 or 5 people from the Twin Cities and Chicago who were interested in getting a ride to Sioux City, but then they looked at our website and did a little research about MCSA and thought that we had a real good cause that we were riding for, and they said, hey, could we just ride the whole week with you?
Nice.
And how does it work? And so I explained to them that it was a fundraiser and what they would be expected to do and all that, and they all were completely on board with it. So we have 4 or 5, I'm not sure how many there will ultimately be, that are going to go with us from other places, which is pretty cool.
I like it. Getting the word out.
Yeah, so
inspiring others.
So we're working on the details of all that, and it'll be here before you know it. I looked this morning just to check, and I think Radbrai's in 93 days.
Yeah, what is the last week of July? Is that when it is?
Last full week in July.
I can't do the math out fast, so I'm not even going to try.
And then, of course, the other big fundraiser that we're working on now at MCSA as well, and will be the rest of the summer, is Adopt a Day. We've done that the past 2 summers, where we go out and ask businesses and churches and service clubs and other large organizations if they would like to adopt MCSA for a day in the month of August. It costs just a little over $1,500 a day to operate everything at MCSA, and so we've asked for a $1,500 donation. I realize that some smaller businesses and groups, that's a big investment, and they can't do that. So I can't remember the exact numbers last year. I think we had.
But some of those small groups can get together.
15 or 16, 17 organizations or businesses that made a $1,500 donation, and then we had a bunch that made smaller donations and filled out most of the rest of the month.
Nice.
Where you'd have 2 or 3 that went together and sponsored a day.
Sure.
And so we'll be working on that again and unveiling all that in August. But we'll have pictures on Facebook and all kinds of stuff when all that gets here. So
that makes me want to ask about what happened. Was it 2 weeks ago? United Way Day of Caring. With the high school, they do it with the high school kids, right?
Yeah. We had 4 young women from the Key Club again who came to the Key Club had groups. They had like 30 or 40 kids out that day.
Wow.
There were like 350 kids total, I think, or something like that participated in Day of Caring for the United Way. We had 4 of them at MCSA, and they did cleaning, and they were highly efficient. Man, they just went through there, and I couldn't believe how fast they got things done.
To be young and have that much energy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but even when I was that age, I'm not sure I would have been that excited about cleaning a bathroom.
Nope, I know I wouldn't have been. Maybe there was some payoff at the end that we don't know about.
But they didn't seem to mind, and they did a great job, and we were glad to have them. And,
Good for them.
It's just it just takes that kind of community effort at a place like MCSA. I mean, I tell people all the time when it comes to making donations or the fundraising that no donation is too small. I mean, every dollar helps. Mm-hmm. But then there are just literally dozens, if not hundreds of other ways people can help that don't involve making a financial contribution. I mean, volunteering, helping paint and clean, donated food. We've talked several times here. We serve probably 400 to 500 meals a month of food that's entirely 100% donated.
Yeah.
Dinners and lunches usually, just about every day.
And holiday meals even. I mean, it's like Mary Louise down there. She's pretty incredible.
Yeah, loaves and fishes on Saturday. And there again, that's all. We don't have a lot to do with that other than providing the place for them to do it. But that's all volunteer. Mary Louise, I think, is 92.
Yeah. Because I remember the first year I was at the radio station, it was her 90th birthday, and she was celebrating by handing out cookies at Hy-Vee. Like cookies that she had made or something. I mean, it was incredible. Like, there she is given to the community again on her birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's an awesome woman.
But it just takes that kind of effort and commitment from
passion.
From as many people as possible. I mean, it's what makes MCSA successful in helping people who need help the most.
Remind everybody how they can get a hold of you. There's several different ways that you could get a hold of Chris or Maggie or somebody right down there at MCSA if you have the time and the passion to want to help down at MCSA.
Well, MCSA is at 312 Iowa Avenue, down by the library, and we are open. Somebody's almost always there. Of course, during business hours, you can just walk in and introduce yourself.
They love visitors.
Our phone number is 264-3278.
264-3278.
And our website is mcsaiowa.org. And we do have some kind of cool things on there right now. We've kind of branched into doing some video and stuff, so we have some of those kind of things on there. We have a nice slideshow that we just put on there the other day of pictures from the New Beginnings auction and event that was held Saturday night for the domestic violence shelter. There are like 45 pictures, I think, in that slideshow if someone wants to go take a look at those. So we have a lot of that. And then, of course, we have our Facebook page, and I think to find it, if you're not already following it, you probably want to search for Muscatine Center for Social Action while you're on Facebook, and it should pop up. And we'd love to have more followers there. I think we have about 1,100 or something, but we'd always like to have more.
Definitely.
And then, of course, you can catch us by email, or you can follow me on Twitter and all that. It's